So before we get into this video, I want to give a massive shout out to all of my Patreon members as well as everybody who has used my discount code. Your support has enabled me to purchase a brand new Quadcast HyperX microphone to increase the quality of my videos. If you're interested in being a Patreon member or you'd like to use my discount code to purchase anything off of Jack Factory's website, I will have a link in the description for both of those. Every penny gets reinvested into the channel and every ounce of support is greatly appreciated. But all I can really ask for is that you guys like the video and subscribe. But anyways, let's get right into this video. I'm especially excited for this video for two reasons. First reason being, for those of you that have been subscribed for a while, you know that I used to push a lot of recipes on this channel. I kind of backed off from that for a little while for a couple reasons. There's so many different things I want to do. I don't want to necessarily focus on one thing at a time. You guys never know what to expect on this channel, and I think that's fun, you know? Trying to test recipes over and over and over to get them right, it puts a dent in your wallet, if you know what I mean. You gotta keep buying ingredients, you gotta keep testing things, you gotta keep blending bread, and it's not cheap. So I like to try to shake my content up a little bit, but I got one recipe that I'm very close to perfecting. You might have saw it in a previous video, an anabolic caramel cake. We are this freaking close to getting it, but there's like one thing that I'm struggling with. But whenever it's ready, I'm gonna bring it to you guys. But today we got anabolic blueberry cheesecake puffs. Why blueberry cheesecake? Well, a few videos back, myself and the crew went to Remington's house. We made a lot of content. If you haven't watched any of that stuff, go watch it. That was fun. I made him a bunch of my puffs. He tried all of them. He graded them. And then after that, I challenged him to see if he can make a better one.
Before we get this going, so your name is the Puff Daddy?
Puff Daddy.
We're gonna find out if he earned it, and then by the end of this video, he's gonna figure out if my nickname, Big Johnson, if I earned that one.
We're gonna find out for sure, yeah. He came up with a blueberry cheesecake-ish kind of puff. It was really good, but today I think we can do one better. So that is what I'm gonna bring to you guys today. I'm so excited, man. I love making food. Who doesn't love food, right? I mean, that's kind of why we get fat, but the goal here is to enjoy food and not get fat, right? I think that's worth a like or something. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Ethan. I'm happy to have you here as always. I do diet videos, I do fitness videos, I do vlogs, I do all sorts of fun content. Recently, I had a huge collaboration with Exercise for Cheat Meals, Iron Musket, Mama Swole, Jason Alexander Kim. Tons of fun stuff coming up in the future. So if you guys want to be a part of any of that, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Ring the bell to be notified when I drop more videos like this, and leave a comment if you got a suggestion for a video in the future. Before we get into this video, it's only appropriate that we have our Thug Jug in hand. It occurred to me prior to filming. The names are starting to rub off a little bit. Mindy, I'm sorry, you're getting the worst of it. I'm gonna fix it later. I don't know where the Sharpies are. Now, before we start this video, I want each and every one of you to comment down below, Thug Jug. But anyways, guys, I'm not gonna talk anymore. I feel like I've been rambling a little bit. I'm very excited. I just got a good workout. Now I'm rambling more. Let's make puffs. We're gonna start off by grabbing our Ninja Blender and tossing in 9 slices of bread. Next up, you're gonna wanna add 3 large egg whites. I don't typically weigh them out, but for those of you that do, you're looking for about 110, 120 grams, but it doesn't need to be perfect. Peep the jug. Next up, you're gonna wanna toss in 112 grams of fat-free cream cheese. I find this part really satisfying. Look at that. Yes, I don't know why I like that a lot. It also cuts it right in half so you can save the next serving for the next time you make these puffs, because let's be honest, you are 100% going to make these again. Next up, you're going to want to add 1 scoop or 32 grams of a vanilla whey protein. I'm going to be going with Jack Factory as always. If you guys are interested in a whey protein that is delicious in these recipes, use my code Ethan20, link in the description. Now you're going to toss in 10 grams of a sweetener. I'm going to be using Splenda. Lastly, you're going to need half a gram of baking powder, and that is going to be everything. It is time to blend the ingredients. In typical fashion, we're just gonna rub the sides down with the spatula. There's something really satisfying about doing that. I really like making this recipe. It's a lot of fun. If it's looking something like this, then you're on the right track. And of course, we gotta be thorough, so let's blend it up again. Next thing you wanna do is grab yourself a food scale. Make sure it's clean, of course. Mine's really dirty. At about this moment, it occurred to me that you didn't need your scale, so this is me being confused for a second. Whatever. Grab yourself a Ziploc bag and toss in 2 large graham crackers. Grab yourself a blunt force object. I'm going to be using this intimidating spoon, and we're just going to beat the ever-living crap out of it. Literally just grind it up into a fine powder. You've seen this in some of my previous recipes. I use these as my pie crusts. They're delicious. They're simple. They're gonna work great for these. Can't have a cheesecake without a crust. Only other thing you're gonna need is about 30 to 40 grams of syrup. You can put in more if you want, less if you want. It's all preference at the end of the day. Just stir that up for a little while, and that is going to act as our crust. Oh yeah, here's me blinding myself. Grab yourself a baking tray, hit it with a little bit of nonstick, and now we're gonna lay down our graham cracker crust. With the amount that I incorporated, it's gonna give you about 8, but you have to be very sparing. Honestly, in this case, less is more. I find that if you wet your fingers with a little bit of nonstick or water, it makes it much easier to kind of pat these things down. We're getting pretty close to the end, so make sure your oven is preheating to 350 degrees. And finally, we're gonna take our puff mix or whatever the hell we want to call this stuff, and we're just going to plop it on our graham crumb spaces. Just like the rest of the puffs, these things are going to keep the shape that you put them in the oven with, so don't worry about them pancaking out and totally melting. Give them a little bit of flair, puff them up, hence the name puff. Upon further inspection, I totally could have done a better job spacing these, but I don't care. And finally, we're just going to slide these things right in the oven. We're going to bake them for about 7 minutes. While those are in the oven, we're gonna make our glaze. First thing we're gonna do is take 80 grams of frozen blueberries, and we're gonna pot them in the microwave for about a minute. Add a little bit of Swerve confectioner sugar. I really don't care how much you put in, it's preference. It's not that serious. We're just gonna stir it up, similar to the lemon glaze puffs. This is gonna act as an icing. After 7 minutes, pull them out of the oven and toss all of them on a plate. This part's really satisfying. Ooh. Ooh. Yup, this is the magic sauce, man. Pour as much of this stuff on as you can. Don't leave any of it behind. Admire them for a minute. Now it is time to let them cool. You could put them in the fridge, but I prefer the freezer because it doesn't take as long. But if you put them in the fridge, they cool more evenly. But the freezer doesn't take as long. What are you gonna do? Clock's ticking, dipshit. I'm just kidding. Anabolic jump off a cliff is never the answer. But I have a confession to make. So my recipe makes about 8 really big puffs, but as you can see, I'm setting up this studio behind me, right? I got a new microphone thanks to my Patreon members. I got some light set up behind the camera. I got all this cool stuff happening. I think it's a cool setup. Let me know what you guys think down below, but I'm very happy with what we got, but I already ate half the puffs. Dude, I didn't have dinner, and this took like 3 hours to just do. See, I wanted to be able to show you guys all the puffs on one plate to just give you a better picture of how much volume is really here, but dude, I don't really care. I was freaking hungry. This is a bad introduction to the new podcast spot. So we're gonna grab this guy right here out of the middle. We have a sweet blueberry icing, a thick, delicious puff, all on top of a graham crumb crust. Dopamine. Pure dopamine. I'm not gonna sit here and muster up this fake reaction to show you guys just how good it is. I've eaten them a bunch of times. I literally had half the plate prior to hitting the record button. So I already know what these things taste like. I'm not gonna be like, whoa, these are, no, dude, I made these. I know how they taste, but you guys haven't made them, and you definitely should. These ones are much denser and much thicker. There's not much air inside of these at all because we didn't add any flour. We added a tiny amount of baking powder. It's a cheesecake. You want it to be thicker. You want it to be like a cheesecake, right? You don't want it to be bready. You don't want it to be like you're making a cake or anything like that. The glaze and the berries on top and the graham crumb on the bottom, it's just pure bliss. That's the only way I can describe it. Calories and macros for this entire dish are gonna be posted to my left. A little steeper calorie-wise than you tend to see with most of my other puffs, and the reason for that is the graham crumb crust that you have on the bottom. That's totally optional. You don't need to have that. The puffs themselves are freaking delicious. The graham crumb doesn't add any protein, but to me, that just completes the whole cheesecake replication thing. We're trying to mimic a cheesecake. You need the crust. To me, it's just worth it in my opinion. Adds another 100-something calories. You want to trim that off, you might be down to around 600, but the exact way I made it, you're getting about 100 calories a puff. And I didn't have a crazy appetite going into this, so I got pretty full off of 4. I had enough room to eat one more, and I have enough calories on the day. I'm gonna have one more. These are so good. Just take in how thick these things are. There's no air pockets. There's nothing like that. I always say that the lemon glaze and the chocolate fudge, not the chocolate fudge. Why can't I remember what it's called? The lava cake puff Good job, Ethan. I always say like those are my two favorites. I tend to go to those the most. They're the easiest to make in my opinion. I love cold puffs, but these, I don't want to be the guy to say, oh, every new recipe is my new favorite. Make these and you will know just how good these things taste. If you want to keep the Big Johnson tradition alive, get yourself some sour strips, sprinkle them on top, cook them inside. I don't really care. Do whatever you guys want, because at the end of the day, as I always preach, it's preference. Make it how you guys want to make it. I'm not strict. I'm not going to be like, you have to make it this way or else you're wrong. I don't care. Make it however you want. Make it to your liking. Add whatever amount of sweetener, protein powder. It might not be as good because I gave these a lot of trials. I think this is the best way to do it, but do what you got to do, right? The top tends to run, so I like to just kind of mop it all up. Yup. Massive shout out to Big Johnson, the Iron Musket, Exercise for Cheat Meals, and Mama Swole for being a part of that video and coming up with such an awesome concept for a recipe. I hope you guys try it out. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, freaking mint. Yeah, I'm not gonna drag this part out too much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys try it. I really hope you enjoy it. Let me know what you think down below. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for the continued support. I just got back from Houston. This is the first video that I'm gonna be filming. Not there, right? So I'm just getting set into the new place. I'm really happy with how everything turned out. I'm ready to just grind out so much content for you guys. I literally have a list on the notes section of my phone with like 15 or 20 video ideas that I want to just do right now. I want to do my absolute best to provide you guys as much value as I can, whether it comes in the form of recipes, entertainment, knowledge, perspective, whatever you get out of my videos. I'm glad you get it, and I want to do this for a long time. You guys are making it happen. We're almost at 6,000 followers, and just a few short months ago, that seemed like something I wouldn't hit till I was 25. So I feel super blessed to be here. And I just want to keep working. I hope you guys like the recipe. I got more coming. I got tons of videos coming. Hopefully more collaborations as well. But anyways, that's it for me, guys. If you haven't already, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Every ounce of support means the world, helps the channel grow. That's it for me. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Peace.